All is now set for tomorrow's governorship election in Edo State, and more than 2 million registered voters in the state are expected to participate in the process. We have a breakdown of this in this next report.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, puts the total number of registered voters in Edo State at 2,629,025. Even though this is about 19% higher than the number of registered voters 4 years ago for Edo 2020, only a maximum of 2,249,780 are expected to vote on Saturday across the state. This represents 85% of the total number of registered voters. Elections are to hold this Saturday in 18 local government areas of the state and 192 wards. With 400,495 people, Ikpoba local government has the highest number of registered voters, while Igwebe LG has the lowest number of 54,549. After inspection and inventory at the Central Bank office in Benin City in the presence of party officials and the media, INEC on Thursday moved all sensitive and non-sensitive materials to their location across the state, accompanied by security agents to the satisfaction of the parties.
So far so good. We've also been carried along. We were there, we saw where they're opening the parkings, all of that. So yes, it's fine. The process is fair enough.
First set of materials moved to far-flung places like Akoko Edo LG. And for the Electoral Commission, this is the first step to a credible election of a new governor of Edo State this Saturday.
They were here, and so far no complaints. I don't know what they will react after that, but before us, they didn't complain. If they had complained, we would have addressed the issue. But so far, they've not done that.
There are other places which present logistical challenge to the Commission due to bad road and waterways.
Yes, we have a contingency plan for that. Any place we cannot access, we have the contingency plan. We will assess it by either bike. If there are riverine areas, the boats have been provided for them.
For the election monitoring group Yaga Africa, Edo State Governorship Election 2024 is a barometer for measuring Nigeria's commitment to representative democracy, which reflects the true will of the people. 18 political parties are fielding candidates in this election, and just one of them is fielding a woman for the job of the governor of Edo State. Solomon Ajiziogu, TVC News, Benin City.
Our senior correspondent Sarah Ayeko is standing by now from Edo State for more on the election taking place on Saturday. Sarah, good to have you join us on this time. You've sent reports about INEC opening up registration areas across the northern part of Edo State. And you've also sent concerns raised by some people about the possibility of fuel scarcity and the cost of living actually influencing and causing voter apathy in this election. How come this is likely to happen? Is it that voters will be driving from their homes to polling stations, or are these concerns about people who would have to travel down to their ancestral homes to cast their ballots?
First of all, before I address what we might likely see tomorrow in tomorrow's election, first off, at the INEC office here in Esako West, that's Auchi. Auchi is the headquarters of Esako West local government area. And so what we saw this morning at the INEC office is that the sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been delivered from Benin City down to Auchi here, which we're going to have 12 registration areas and then 322 polling units across the local government. So what we saw that was a bit scary for us is that there were some guys, they were not security officials, but they were just keeping watch, on the INEC office here in Esako West. You know that Yaga Africa and some civil societies had raised concerns and also named Esako West local government as one of the flashpoints. That's among the 8 local governments for this election. They've named Esako West as one of the flashpoints for this election, and so which is why we're expecting that security operatives would deploy their men, because this is a border community to Kogi. Just the other road there, it's the about Benin, Auchi or Kene before you're into Kogi State. So all eyes, of course, are on this local government because it's a border community to other neighboring states. For the people, when we spoke to them earlier about their preparedness for Saturday's election, they had talked about, some person said, of course, they will come out to vote. They want to elect someone that will represent them for the next 4 years. But most of those we spoke with at the market, particularly while they are making their last-minute buy before the election, had said that they would not come out to vote. One woman specifically said that where she registered, it's far from where she stays right now. So she didn't go to re-register herself for this election and to change the address. That's a polling unit for this election. And so for her, she would not be coming out to vote because she doesn't have enough money. She cannot make the trip. Even though it's within Esako West local government, she cannot make the trip. She cannot afford to make the trip down to a polling unit to cast a ballot. Another thing that some other persons had cited is the fact that here in Benin, here in Esako West, for instance, a bag of rice is being sold at 115,000 naira about a day. And for one of the voters, he said that that's why he does not see a reason why he should come out to vote, since those they voted in time past have not changed the lives or empowered people in his community. And he cited various reasons as to why he does not have confidence in the elections producing who they actually want for as governor of the state.
All right, Sarah, a whole lot would be happening on Saturday, and all eyes are on the people of Edo State to actually come out and vote. But talk to us about the rural dwellers in Auchi, in Uromi, and how they're actually getting ready, and what do we know about vehicular movement in and around there?
Transportation is very key in this election because you know that the bad roads, particularly the ones connecting Benin to these border communities, transportation is very key. There are bad roads. There are bad roads in some of these, in some parts of these local government, particularly in the northern parts of the states, and which is one of the key issues or pressing issues that some of the residents had raised about. They had raised issues of bad road network, particularly for the farmers. One of the people I spoke with, a particular woman, she said that she is a farmer. She's also a civil servant. And one thing she would want the next governor to do is ensure that there is good road network from the farms to the city centers, particularly even here in Esako West. And even in the interlands, she's hoping that the governor will be able to, in conjunction with the federal government, come up with strategic plans to ensure that there are good road networks from the farms to the city centers. So that's what they are expecting the next governor to do. They are ready to come out and vote. For those who have their PVCs, they are ready to come out and vote. But then they are hoping that this vote will translate into empowerment, good cost of an increased cost of living, and improved living standard for them. They're also hoping that the next governor would be able to have a plan that works for people of Edo State.
All right, Sarah, we'll definitely be back with you for more on what's going on there, especially as we count down to the election, which begins, which actually takes place tomorrow, Saturday. We'll also be speaking with our correspondent who are on ground there in Edo State for more. We'll be speaking with Uche Okoro, who is in Benin City, the capital, to especially talk to us about what civil society organizations and observers have to say about what they have seen so far regarding this election. Uche, bring us up to speed on the evaluation being given at this time by CSOs and observers regarding Saturday's election.
According to the civil society situation room here in Benin City, they've just delivered their inaugural press briefing regarding the Edo State governorship election. The summary of all they have said is that there is no cause for alarm. There is no cause for alarm as regards INEC's preparedness for the polls. But just to take you through all they have said, a few of the key points in today's briefing, they have said that they have about 4,000 accredited observers. That's some of them, majority of them are accredited observers, while the others are citizens observers who have been trained by their partners. So about 4,000 observers under the civil society situation room are expected to be spread across the 18 local government areas of Edo State to monitor the election. The group also acknowledges the very tense atmosphere in Edo State, but they've called on security agencies to be professional, refrain from excessive use of force, refrain from intimidating voters, refrain from taking sides. They've also talked about even distribution or even deployment of security agencies. Now, what that means is that they want to see the same number of security agencies deployed to the cities or to the urban areas. They want to see the same number of security agencies deployed to the rural areas, because there are, according to them, there are instances in the past where you have some areas that are over-policed and some places that are under-policed. So this election, they expect that the security agencies would make an improvement in that area. They've also called on INEC to ensure the timely opening of polling units, early deployment of materials, men and materials to the polling units to ensure that polls open at 8 a.m. as they have said. Also, you know that this is the wet season. The rains have been coming down in very often across the country. A similar situation being experienced here in Edo State. This civil society situation described the rain as an unpredictable variable, and that's exactly what it is. So they are saying that they are very concerned that flooding might have an impact in this election. So they are hoping that the commission has some contingency plans to deal with an event where it rains poses some challenge for the election. So they've also called on political parties to refrain from violent rhetorics. Call your supporters to order to ensure that we do not experience any breakdown of law and order, or people showing overzealousness in support of their candidate or their preferred candidate or their preferred political party. By and large, it's all about calls from the civil society situation room to ensure that the Edo State governorship election does not record any negative news throughout the process.
All right, Uche Okoro, thank you very much for that update from Benin City. Uche Okoro for us in Benin City.